So, after every game, I go back and I do my spreadsheets and stuff. And I was filling out the stuff on offense, and I noticed something.
What's that?
So they played 5 games under Dana Holgorsen. 5 games as offensive coordinator. And by the way, this is not to say, they made a mistake.
Fire Holgo, writes John.
But they only rushed for 3 yards per carry against Cincinnati. That's the 3rd time in the 5 games under Holgorsen they've been under 4 yards per carry.
Iowa, this game, and was it Boston College? I don't believe it.
I believe it was USC. I don't have my spreadsheet.
It's
open.
okay. You don't have. Sorry, just keep going. Let's power through.
It was Iowa and Boston College. They were under 4.
I don't believe
so this is actually the 3rd straight game they've been under 4.
Oh, good Lord.
But then the yards per attempt, the yards per pass attempt was just 5.8. And that's also the 3rd time in the last 5 games that they've been under 6.
Not great.
Which is also not great.
Not great.
So I was looking at the 5 games under Holgorsen, and then I compared it to the first 9 games of last year because we wanted the commonality of Dylan, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the 5 games so far under Dana Holgorsen versus the first 9 games of last year before Dana arrived.
Good Lord, look at these stats.
The points are slightly down. The rushing totals are a little bit better. They're averaging just under 4 yards a carry. Prior to that, it was 3.6. But the yards per pass attempt, which were 7, averaged 7 yards per pass attempt in the first 9 games of last year. In the last 5 under Dana, just 6.3.
Now, can I get a bucket of water on my back and carry it just for a moment real fast with Dana? In fairness, those first 9 games for Satterfield do include 2 against lesser opponents. Right?
But they also include 2 against playoff teams.
Sure, but I'm just saying,
you're right.
Over the next 2, here's what I'm saying. 2 weeks later, and this is something we should just revisit all the time.
Well, actually, I plan to revisit this after the Michigan State game because then it will be 9 games.
9-9. And again,
the reason I thought of this was I was just
wanted to crap.
No, I didn't want to crap. I just wanted to. So far, the jump that a lot of people were thinking.
It's happened one time. It happened against Wisconsin. Otherwise, the offense and the wild part, and I remember looking at this sometime in the offseason, Nebraska last year averaged 23.5 points per game. Nebraska in the first 9 games last year averaged 23.5 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska in the last 4 games last year averaged 23.5 points per game. Now, they did not average 23.5 points per game in the win over Cincinnati. They scored 20 points. But it has been very interesting how, I think at times the offense has definitely looked better, but production-wise, it is.
Production-wise, it's almost identical.
Yeah, and so, it's obviously going to go up the next 2 weeks, and so that's going to – it will. Put it on the list. The offense will be better in the next 2 weeks. But Holgorsen, and he would say this, he was not brought in to be good against bad teams like that.
Sure.
He was not brought in to score points against Houston Christian and Akron. He was brought in to fix what was a flailing offense. And again, he has delivered truly spectacularly once. That I rewatched that game probably a month ago against Wisconsin. And dude, the run game was hitting, the pass game was hitting. They were getting big plays. They were flying around. That is easily Dylan Raiola's best game as a Nebraska starting quarterback. That is easily Emmett Johnson's best game as a starting running back. They looked good in that football game. Can they do that again, whether it's against a Michigan State, any of the teams in October, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, these are interesting numbers, and
very pedestrian right now.
Very pedestrian.
By the way, you have to go back to 2006. No, I'm sorry, 2005, the last time Nebraska had a yards per pass attempt trending this low.
That offense was terrible. That was the first Zach Taylor year.
Yes.
They opened up with Maine. They got up to a really bad start. They were winning, though, and that was all that matters. And by the end of the year, the offense started clicking, and then it really kicked into high gear.
And it took off the next year.
Yeah. And
with the same quarterback.
Yeah. And so, look, this is such an obvious thing to say, but, man, it's just so nice that they left this last weekend with a dub, because that was a game that at the end you thought they might actually lose it. And then these numbers are we're putting sirens around them, oh, my gosh. But instead, they were able to escape with a victory. And so that's what you want.
Yeah, Sounds like you're not apologizing for a win.
Nick, we don't apologize for wins.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I'm going
not.
to take the water off my back.
You can take the water off your back.
Yeah.
Though you didn't really have to worry about carrying any water.
I just did a little bit.
I know you did, but I wasn't trying to drown
you don't want to fire him?
No.
Yet.
No.
Okay.
I mean, Satterfield was better. But
good God. Andy Rice.
Well, he averaged 0.8 points per game more.
Because he got to play Northern Iowa and UTEP.
Well, Holgerson got to play crappy Wisconsin.
That was nice. God, Wisconsin does suck. Dude, they suck. They were bad over the weekend when they played Thursday, Friday.
I mean, that is something I'll be watching for because MJ points out, all right, let's see what Akron and
That's
Houston
what I
Christian.
said 5 minutes ago.
I know, but
He said it louder.
But I'll
God,
be
MJ, screw you, bro.
But I'll be curious. I mean, I would hope that they can do a lot of things offensively that we have just not seen yet. I would like to see some big plays.
I would love big plays.
And that's a big reason why the
plays.
yards per attempt are as low as they are because
they're not getting big plays.
They're not getting big plays.
There
Either
was
catch and run or long passes or long runs.
In the game last night, the TCU running back, and I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, after his long touchdown, it was like 10 carries for 111 yards. And it's like, whoa, he's averaging 11 yards a carry. And then in the bottom it said, last carry, 75-yard touchdown. It skews it, and that's what you want.
Sure.
That's the best part about big plays.
Sure.
It skews everything else. But that's what happens to good offenses. They're not actually averaging 6 yards a play. You know, I remember we kind of taught this to people last year after Satterfield said his dumb thing about yards per play.
So we can make fun of him, but we can't make fun of Holgo the no-go.
No, it's Holgo the Oko, John. You stop saying these words.
What about Holgo the oh no?
Wow, that was actually better, John. Why didn't you do that one?